Hi everyone, it's Claire from Claire's Food Haven. This evening I'm going to be cooking a roast chicken dinner. This is a super easy meal to make and it doesn't cost too much money. So this is going to be for 2 people. I've got a medium chicken, it's 1.5 kilos, 2 handfuls of potatoes, some green veg. I've got a bit of broccoli I'm going to use and some sprouts, but you can use peas, carrots, whatever veg you like, and some gravy granules. Okay, so first step, we're going to put the oven up to 180. Now before we handle the chicken, we want to make sure we've washed our hands properly, because this is poultry. Before you handle any meat, you need to make sure you wash your hands properly before you handle any food, but especially meat and especially poultry and fish, because this is most prone to getting food poisoning. Now this chicken is 1.5 kilos in weight, and it recommends that we cook it for 1 hour and 30 minutes, okay? So what we're going to do first, we're going to unwrap the chicken from the plastic, and I'm going to pop it in a pot. You can also cook it on an oven tray, for example. You want a relatively deep oven tray with some foil on top, okay? You can sprinkle a little bit of salt on, and that will help brown the skin later on when we take the lid off. So I'm just going to pop the lid on this for now. I'm going to pop it in the oven. Put it in the oven. There we go. Oven's been on for a bit, and I'm going to come back to this in a bit. The chicken has been cooking in the oven for just over half an hour. So the next stage is to get the potatoes ready for roasting. So you want an oven tray, some oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can use whatever oil you like. Put a bit on the tray there, and then we're going to put this in the oven underneath where the chicken is and let that heat up. We want that to get nice and hot. And in the meantime, we're going to parboil the potatoes. So we're going to boil them for about 10 minutes. First, we're going to peel them, okay? Then we're going to cut them up into roast potato size, what we would like. See, the smaller the size, the quicker they will cook. So I'm doing mine about medium size. I'm delighted with this new kitchen knife Errol got me as a wedding anniversary present. She heard me talking about my blunt knife in the previous videos. So she very kindly bought me a new set of kitchen knives and a knife sharpener, and they are fantastic, but they are super sharp, so I have to be careful when I'm using this, because it's very different to using a blunt knife, obviously. Just being mindful when I'm cutting. I'm happy with those sizes. Right, I'm going to put them in my pan. I'm going to turn my hob up to about 4. I've already boiled a kettle of water to put on here. So I'm going to boil them for 10 minutes. The potatoes have been boiling for about 10 minutes, so I've just turned the hob off and now I'm going to drain the potatoes. I'm going to take the oven tray out of the oven using my oven gloves. It's going to be hot. What we want, we have to be careful because there's hot oil in that oven tray, so we have to be really careful with that. And then we're going to put the potatoes on top like that. Now, if you like, you can sprinkle a little bit of salt on them. I think it helps to brown them a little bit in the oven. And we're going to put them in the oven. And we're going to cook them for about 40 or 50 minutes. The chicken will take about 40 or 50 minutes from now, so we'll be back soon. The potatoes have been cooking for about 15 minutes and the chicken has been in the oven now for about an hour and 10 minutes altogether. So we're going to pull the chicken out of the oven, see how it's doing and drain the juices. Smelling great. Oh yeah, it's looking very, very good, that. So I'm using my oven gloves. I'm just going to bring the pot over here next to the chopping board. Now I'm going to lift the chicken out using my tongs. I'm just going to make sure we get all the juices out before we lift it out of the pot. She says trying to lift it. It's kind of stuck in the pot because it's just a little bit big for the pot. If you remember, I had a bit of trouble poking the legs in there. So I'm just going to tip it like that so we get all the juices to run out of the bird. There we go. Nice, and pop it on the chopping board for now. Now we have a lot of juices in here which we're going to use for the gravy in about 20 minutes. So I'm just going to pour these juices into the pan. There we go. There is a little bit of a chicken wing, just saw something clean to the edge of the pan there. Chicken's looking really good. It might even be cooked now, you know. Some of the skin is still on it, and if you like, you can put a little bit of oil on there just to brown it for the last part of the cook here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it back in the pot like that. You sprinkle a little bit of salt on it there. I'm going to put it back in the oven. The potatoes should be doing okay. We'll have a look at those whilst we're doing this. Back in the oven without the lid on. And crisp it up a bit. Potatoes have still got quite a way to go, I would say. A good 20 minutes maybe. And when you do them in the air fryer, it's much quicker. And in fact, I think what I might do for the purposes of this meal is finish them off in the air fryer, because otherwise we could be here at least another half an hour waiting for these to brown up. So I could have put the potatoes in the oven quite a bit sooner, quite a bit before I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the air fryer now to finish them off, and that'll take about 20 minutes. So whilst the potatoes are finishing off in the air fryer, I'm going to prep my veg. So I'm going to use a little bit of broccoli I've got left over from another day. Just chop that up. I'm also going to use some Brussels sprouts, which I think go lovely with roast chicken dinner. And you can buy sprouts in the shops again now, which is great. So to prep the sprouts, I like to peel the first couple of layers off, you that again because what I do first, I cut the end off there and then peel these first couple of layers off. Like that. Okay. And sometimes your sprouts might not be in the best condition, but you can peel off the outer layers and you're left with a nice sprout. And again, just put a little cross in the middle there. Like that. There we go. And do the same for the rest of the sprouts. Okay, so that's the sprouts peeled and cut. I'm just going to add them to the pan. Then I'm going to put the pan on the hob. Turn the hob up to about 4. I've already boiled some water in the kettle, so I'm just going to put that on there. I leave them to cook for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to have a look at the roast potatoes. They should be coming along nicely now. Oh yeah, they're looking good. They're looking good. So I'm just going to turn them. I think they'll be about 10 minutes. That's lovely. And put them back on for 10 minutes. So the sprouts have been cooking for about 5 minutes. Now it's time to make the gravy. So the stock that we had earlier, the juices that we got from the chicken, we're going to pop them on the hob. Turn the hob up quite high to about 5. You're going to need a wooden spoon for this. We want that to get nice and hot. The chicken juices are heated up nicely now. They've been heating up for about 4 minutes. They're sizzling away there in the pan, so I'm just going to add about a centimetre of boiling water into that. Now this gravy I'm making is for 2 people, and you take your chicken gravy granules and you want about a tablespoon of these in there with your juices and your water, and you want to stir straight away. Keep stirring, turn it down a little bit. It's really hot, it doesn't need to be that hot now. We'll keep stirring so that it doesn't get lumpy. There's a lot of steam being created now. Ideally I should have the window open a little bit, have the extractor fan on. The amount of steam coming up is amazing. So we want to keep stirring this. It's quite thin. I think we might need to add some more gravy granules into that. So I'm going to get another tablespoon, add that in, keep stirring. Oh yeah, it's thickening up nicely now, that gravy. Yeah, that's loads better. There we go, so I'm going to turn that off now on that hob and just leave that on for a bit and come back and stir it every now and again. I'm going to turn the vegetables off because they'll be done now. They can carry on steaming under that lid for a few minutes whilst I deal with the chicken. So the chicken has been cooking in the oven for about 1 hour and 40 minutes. Time to put the oven off. When you open the oven, just make sure you don't have your head anywhere near it because there's going to be a lot of hot steam that comes out. Okay, there we go. See all that steam? Woof. Browned up a little bit on the skin there. It's not ideal, but that's okay. It looks well cooked. So we're going to pop it onto the there'll be a few more juices in it actually, so just get those juices to come out. Oh yeah, make a lovely stock with these juices, you know, and the carcass once we've finished carving it. For now I'm just going to show you how I carve the meat. Okay, it's well cooked. You can see it's well cooked. You want to make sure that your meat is not pink or bloody or anything like that in the middle, because if it is, it's not cooked properly. Okay, so we're going to carve the breast first. Yeah, you can see that there's no pinkness there. It's all properly cooked all the way through. Now some people might sprinkle a bit of thyme or some herbs on their chicken, you know, when they're cooking it, which you can do. I've just left mine plain today. I'm quite pleased with the amount of meat on this bird. For a small bird, there's quite a bit of meat here. This would easily feed 3 people. If you have any chicken left over, you can make it into a chicken sandwich the next day, or a chicken curry. It really is a fantastic dinner to cook. You can use the carcass to make a stock with afterwards if you wish. That stock can then be used to flavour soups and things. So we're getting quite a bit of meat off this. Lovely bit of white meat. That's the white meat, the breast. That's my favourite part of the bird, but Errol loves the legs and she loves the wings. She loves the darker meat on the bird, which is a bit juicier. So for the leg, I would just, it should just come off nice and easily when it's been cooked properly. That's your leg there, and it's quite a bit of meat on this leg here. Wow, that's good. It's a good amount. And you can carve around it as well, and it should just fall off really. This has been well cooked. There we go, and turn it over and you get the meat on the other side as well. And you can really go into it and get as much meat as you can off the bone. There we go, still a bit of meat on there. Some people like the skin, some people don't. It's up to yourself whether you like to eat the skin or not. So a bit of skin there. And if we flip this, we've still got the other leg to get as well. There's quite a bit of meat around the thigh of the leg there. If you see the top part of the leg, that should just fall off. Yeah, like that. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. You can use a fork. Fork works equally well, and sometimes actually it's better to use a fork because you can shred it like that with a fork. There we go. Just be careful you don't get any small bones at this point. It's quite a bit of meat on this medium-sized chicken. Just flip that leg over. We get the rest with that fork there. It's just falling off the bone. Obviously, when the meat is close to the bone like that, it's full of flavour. You know, it's absolutely delicious. And when you flip, there's still quite a bit of breast meat in there. You can pull that out with your fork. You can really get into it like that. There we go. Just keep stabbing away at it. And obviously when you get closer to the bone, just be careful that you don't get any of the bone. And please don't give a cooked chicken carcass to your dog, because when it's cooked, the bone splinters and it can be very bad for your dog. And when you flip the carcass over like that, you also have a wee bit of meat on the underside there that you can strip off if you choose to. That's all lovely. Now, if you look at all this meat that I've got off that medium-sized chicken, there's a pile of breast here, and the dark meat there, and still a wee bit of dark meat to go off this carcass as well. That's really, really impressive. I'm pleased with that. Oops, I just want to show you the underside actually, because you can see there's these wee fleshy bits here as well that you can pull off. Nice bit of dark meat. So I'm going to dish this up in a moment, but I just want to mention the carcass a little bit to you now, because if you want, you can make a stock out of this. I'm not going to do it tonight, but if you were going to make a stock out of this, you would put it in a big pan like this. Fill your pan with 1.5 litres, maybe 2 litres of water. Chop some vegetables up, like carrot, onion, leek, whatever you've got. Put that in with the chicken carcass and the water, some salt and pepper, maybe a few herbs if you wish, some crushed garlic. And then you can leave that to simmer on a low heat on your hob for say 2 hours, 3-4 hours. And it will reduce right down the water. And then you take a sieve and you drain the water, all the juices from the sieve, go into another pan, and you're left with all the pulpy stuff. Just bin that. And then you've got this delicious chicken stock, which you can use for soups, you can use for stews, you can use it to flavour whatever you like. And that will keep in your fridge for about 1 week. And you can also freeze it. I believe it lasts for about 1 month in the freezer. So I'm just going to have a little tidy up, and then we're going to serve this delicious meal. I'm going to drain the vegetables. Give the gravy a little stir. That's looking good. The pan there. Serve these out. So we've got a bit of broccoli, some sprouts. I love the sprouts with the roast chicken dinner. You know, you can use carrots, peas, whatever veg you like. I'm going to get the potatoes out of the air fryer. They should be, oh yes, very crispy, very crispy. Looking fantastic. Look at that. So we're just going to serve these out. Now the reason I'm picking them out individually, well, not individually, but using, instead of just pouring them out, is if you pour them out, then all the fat from the bottom of the air fryer will dribble out onto your plate and it looks disgusting. So this is why I'm doing it like this. It might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. Oh wow, that looks amazing. I'm delighted with how this has gone. Okay, next stage is the chicken. Now Errol likes the darker meat, so she's going to have the leg meat there. It looks really, really good. I prefer the white meat, so I'm gonna have a nice big bit of breast there. And you know, there's plenty of meat here, so if I wanted to use this for another meal, say chicken curry or chicken sandwiches tomorrow, I can do that. That's fantastic. And then of course, the gravy. The best bit of roast chicken dinner is the gravy, I think. It just finishes it off a treat, and you can pour this all over like that. I'll just get it on the meat. Could have maybe done with a little bit more gravy there, but that's okay. There we go, folks, a roast chicken dinner, and it smells amazing.